Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to give you my little weekly reading recap, I guess more general life updates as well, because I've only been reading one book this week, and it is definitely best book of the year, contender for best book I've ever read. Sort of saying that out loud sounds a bit crazy. I know I haven't read every book in the world, but it may dethrone, hold on, this. Heaven Has No Favorites by Eric Remarque. This book may have dethroned it as my favorite book, and that is Independent People by Haldor Loxness. I don't see anyone talking about this book. It is not very well known, I would say. It has like 2,000 reviews on Goodreads, and it's this author's most popular book. This is the book that won him the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1955. He's a classic Icelandic author. Some people say probably the most famous Icelandic person ever. I don't know anything about Iceland or its famous people, so I can't really concur, but this book is definitely making a case for itself. I guess in short, what is this book about? We follow this sort of like crotchety farmer hold on, let me back up. So we follow this like crotchety farmer in rural Iceland who has just just basically bought his way out of indentured servitude, I guess, or modern day slavery from like the towns. He's called the bailiff. So he's bought this plot of land for him to develop and farm, saved up his wages to buy this land and be an independent person. That's what he wants in life. That is, I've tabbed a couple of sections here where it details yeah, so this is sort of what he, right after buying the land, right at the beginning of the book, page 13, this is sort of what he says. He says, "Size isn't everything by any means," he said aloud to the dog, as if suspecting her of entertaining high ideas. "Take my word for it, freedom is more of a count than the height of the roof beam. I ought to know. Mine cost me 18 years slavery. The man who lives on his own land is an independent man. He is his own master. If I can keep my sheep alive through the winter and can pay what has been stipulated from year to year, then I pay what has been stipulated, and I have kept my sheep alive. No, it is freedom that we are all after, Titula," which is his dog's name. "He who pays his way is a king. He who keeps his sheep alive through the winter lives in a palace." And that is sort of his mindset through this entire book, and the driving force behind the decisions he makes. He really doesn't answer to anyone, not even his wife at the time or his second wife. And he's a very charismatic character. He's very dry-witted, very humorous. If you guys know the books that I like to read, I envy that in books when authors can pull off sort of dry humor. And there is a lot of it, not a lot, there is some of it in this book. Why is it contender for some of my, or maybe my favorite book of all time? I think it has the perfect balance of things that I look for in a book and things that I find enjoyable yet fulfilling to read. What do I mean by that? Like I said, it has some humor. I like humor in my books. It has not the most likable main character ever. I find it hard to relate when the character makes the right decisions every single time and is like perfect to a T. Our main character here is not that. What else? I think some of the way the scenes are described in the setting, we're in rural Iceland in this giant sort of field in a valley, and the way it is described time and time again is some of the best writing I've ever read. There is some, I guess, like when you read them for the first time, confusing parts, but it all ties up together. And like I've said before, confusion is the prelude to understanding. And so recognizing that within this book, it makes some of those more confusing moments pay off a whole lot better. It's a family drama, which I like, a family saga, so to speak. There's some elements of, not elements of fantasy, but there are some fantastical elements within it. There's, we're dealing here in this valley that has been cursed by this demon in Iceland. Obviously, our main character doesn't really believe in demons and always finds a different way to excuse some of the ill happenings that are happening on his farm. Everyone's seemingly trying to help him, but he is taking no help as he wants to be an independent person. There's a lot to do with just family relationships. After the end of part 1 in the book, when he has his first, or I guess his only daughter, we fast forward like 15 years, maybe 12 years. And now he has 3 kids, and so there's a lot to do with like the relationship between him and his kids and his wife. I think it's sort of fascinating to read as well. But yeah, just sort of in short, this book is amazing, and I'm really taking my time through it. I'm only 2/3 of the way through. A book like this I would normally have finished by now, but I'm really savoring it, rereading passages, tabbing it, and just enjoying my time because I'm really, really liking it. Let me know if you have read this book. Like I said, it's not very popular on Goodreads, which is a shame. I feel like more people should read this book. And just from reading this book, I have gone on to purchase more of his books. So this is a vintage edition. I've actually gone on to buy every other one of his. I was gonna do a book haul with these, but we'll talk about them now because they're just so good. I have the other ones over here. So I've actually gone on to, over the past, 2 weeks or so, purchase all his other books in this vintage edition. He wrote, I think he's written maybe 60 pieces, short stories, books. Obviously not all of them have been translated into English. These are his most 5 prominent works, I would say, published by Vintage Publishing. And yeah, I'm just excited to read more of what he has to offer, because if they're anything like this first book here, Independent People, I think I'm in for a good, healthy amount of reading here. So I don't know a whole lot about these books. I bought them all used on Thrift Books. Actually, a couple of them I got for free for my free book rewards. So first off, we have Iceland's Bell, and next we have World Light. I think I showed these actually in a reading vlog, these 2 weeks ago or something. So yeah, I've had these for a bit. And then just this week, these 2 were the free ones that I got that came in separately. This one's Under the Glacier. This one, I heard, is sort of just like a comedic book, which should be funny, obviously. And then the next one here is Paradise Reclaimed. Both of these are a bit shorter, obviously, than this one. So a good variety of length, maybe term of stories, the proper term for it. But yeah, excited to dig more into those. I now have all 5 of his vintage published books. Actually, I tell a lie, there's 6 of them, but I can't find the other one used. The 6th one is called The Fish Can Sing, which is a pretty funny title. But I can't find it used, and I can't I would feel weird to have all these sort of like broken in editions, used books, some discoloration, and then like a brand new version from the vintage website. So I'm looking for a used copy of that. In no rush, obviously. I have more of his works to get through, but I also don't want to like blitz through them. Take them a little bit here and there, because you can only read a book for the first time once, as they say. But yeah, that's all to do with books. Like I said, just reading this one book, contender for best book that I have ever read, which is exciting. I guess other life updates. my coffee is terrible this morning. I don't know what I did different, but my cold brew tastes like bad. I don't know. Oh well. My neck is healing up fine. I go back this week to see post-operative to see what, I mean, you can't see it. It's on the back of my neck, so I can't see it either, but so far so good. And yeah, I've been playing chess for the past 2 days. I got into chess recently, aka 2 days ago, and I am terrible. I've been playing on chess.com and Lichess, I think is how it's pronounced. I've probably played 150 games of chess in the past 2 days, which I don't know, is that good or is that bad? I feel like I concentrate so hard that it makes my brain hurt, which is, I guess it's strengthening my brain. Let me know if you guys are big chess players. I'm terrible. Give me some tips and tricks, maybe. I'm just trying to learn. I feel like reading, chess is a hobby that you can carry on for the rest of your life. And so I'm trying to develop these hobbies, I guess, early on. And I'm enjoying it so far. It's a very rewarding experience, but the road is long ahead. Like I said, I'm terrible at chess. If you guys are good chess players, let me know some tips and tricks down below. But yeah, I think that'll do it for me today. Appreciate you watching up until this point. Definitely check this book out if it sounds like it's up your alley. It's definitely really, really good. Appreciate you watching, as I said, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.